So how to reshape your belief system of how we look at something as when we're a child, as we look at it as an adult, it might be different. The perceptions of things are differently. Maybe when you're a child, you thought of things more magically, and things are more wondrous when you don't know about things and they don't have labels upon things like that tree over there, a tree to be a tree. Well, that's just labels that you put on things that make the reality. Like English language, that's a certain reality, and other languages are different realities. See, these are all perceptions of how we see things. And basically, what was created, in a sort of way to correspond language. But that's not what I'm trying to say. I was using that as an example. But what I'm trying to say is that this is corresponding with everything that we're going about. Like when we have the correspondent with the visual cortex of the sight, and then the wonder of the mind of how it perceives it. You know what I mean? Like I said, when we were little children, we have a fresh mind to perceive it in wondrous ways. And every day that we go about life, we can perceive things in different ways. And it's all about the perception of the correspondence with life, that we perceive it in certain ways and fashions in certain times of year. It's different years and different things happen, different things are perceived of, and it's the perception of how we perceive it is differently. Every day you perceive it a little bit differently than you did the day before. But these are energetics of like sort of mindsets of reality. So the perception of just reality itself without labels would be metropolis of many different options or pathways you could go about describing certain things like that. Like the trees, describing that they have wondrous ways that they grow, in different ways. And no one tree is the same, so that makes it unique. So it's all unique facets of how we perceive things as well. And this is what ties with the magic of life. And on certain levels, on certain degrees, that determines what levels of magic. Like when I play guitar, at certain high frequencies, it goes like, I would sing right now, but I'm just making a podcast about this. So what I'm trying to say is that, like the grass, it has a different aspect to it than a tree does. But the wonder could be the same or different or equally as in the quotient of it as it is. It could be equally as done, as the level of wonder behind something. So what I'm trying to say is that this level of wonder when we're having a child, the way we perceive of things, like we go to school and we perceive things of all this math and all this science, and then we go about things in our daily life like that, take up part of our mind. But if we're programmed other things like advanced technologies or advanced star systems with advanced intellect programmed, then we'd be more advanced beings. This is how we're programmed. And the level of it is what we get out of it. And the level that we grew up with and we developed into is what we get out of it too. So you could be developing yourself through the schooling and stuff like this and developing yourself that way and getting more intricately designed in that reality, or the reality of the perception of that doing things, that on your own accord to grow knowledge and, grow knowledge in certain categories that you like biology and stuff like this, and go forth in ways that, make to co-create the reality that you want. You know what I mean? It's just like we perceive of reality a certain way, but if we perceived it in a whole new way, would we create a reality the way that we'd want to be perceived of? And if we perceived of everything that we wanted to perceive of the way that it was, would the perception of it be the actual perception that we have in our minds of it. Oh, now that is a big concept right there. So if we perceive of it a certain way, and in that way that we perceive of it, would it be that it's because of the way that we perceived of it is the reality of why it's that way in our mind? You know what I mean? And it's like, and if we reprogrammed it, it'd be a different route or a different way that we'd look at it. It'd be a different whole concept of reality that we'd go about, you know what I mean, of our daily lives. So it'd be like the metropolis of wonder and awe. Like, you know, like She-Ra off of Eternia, and they have magic and spells, and it's like there's all these things that are going on, and it's pretty crazy, you know what I mean? And there's all these wondrous types of trees and stuff like this, and different like bushes, and the land is different, you know what I mean? And it's just like this earth. This earth is the same way. We just grew up in it. At first, there was a wonder about it, like we're on a different planet. But if we went to a different planet, there'd be an awe and wonder to it, you know, and a magic to it. And it's just because we're used to this is why we're not seeing it in certain ways, you know, ways of reality. So it's almost 7 minutes in. Neo worships the divine goddess. I hope the girls are doing good. And I really wish that, like, 2024, I get these opportunities to have more things that are going good in my life, like they're already going good in my life. So I hope that more happens, that it's good for the planet and everything. And yeah, I mean, co-creating, living my life every day. Like, times when I'm not making a podcast and doing that, I'm just living my life, observing, experiencing life, you know what I mean? And co-creating my level of reality. So yeah, have a good day, everybody.